Guys, what is quiet quitting? It sounds crazy to say out loud. I mean, generally when you quit, it's pretty loud and funny, specifically if you film it for YouTube. The quitting sessions are normally super hilarious, guys, right? Like sticking it to the man for the most part, right? But quiet quitting, is it just like not going to work one day? Could be. But either way, name of the video, how quiet quitting became the next phase of the Great Resignation. And this is a suggestion via Discord. Let's check it out. Okay.
This is one example of quiet quitting, a trend that has been dominating social media and especially TikTok.
All right, let's go.
In July, Zaid Khan, a 24-year-old engineer from New York, posted a video about quiet quitting, and it went viral. Since then, the trend has spread like wildfire, with hashtags like quiet quitting, quitting, and quieting.
Does anybody want to work anymore?
Then the mainstream media began covering it.
Like working overtime? No thanks. Late night emails? Ignore those.
Quiet quitting is a really bad idea. If you're a quiet quitter, you're not working for me.
Yeah, I would expect that. For me neither. Just be fully aware. But I pay my employees generally adequately. But I think that's probably the issue, right? I think the issue is the people that are most likely doing these things here are not being paid enough money. Okay, that's almost 100% positive. The issue is their salary does not match the amount of work they're actually outputting. Let's get it.
The world is changing and the way of work is changing. Even people saying, I'm not going back to the office. And if I do, I'm definitely quiet quitting until I find a job that is a lot more flexible.
COVID was the ultimate.
Oh, guys, think about oh no. I get it from the standpoint of the employee doing this type of thing, guys, but the loss in productivity of all these companies that are hiring is crazy. But I guess they should be paying adequately. That's probably the case here, right? But wow, guys, I didn't even think about anything like this. My mind I would have never come up with any of this, bro.
Ultimate reset. COVID was that moment where people started to ask a bigger question. What do I want for my life? Do I want to continue working the way that I have? Or do I want something different? Do I want to continue to work, which is awesome, but do I also want to be able to enjoy my family? Do I also want to be able to enjoy my life? So I think all of these things are coming in stages.
Okay.
And I think quiet quitting is just the trend that's come as a result of the ultimate reset, which is COVID.
Something like 40% of workers are now saying they plan to change jobs this year.
The pandemic also triggered the Great Resignation.
Trying to retain
The
people,
Great Resignation.
But, they're really running scared.
Millions of Americans quit their jobs in 2021, some for better opportunities, some for a career break. The pace of quitting continued well into 2022. This chart tracks job openings and labor turnover in the U.S. economy, JOLTS for short.
We do think that quiet quitting is part of the Great Resignation story, so it fits into the general story of having a high level of quits over the past year and a half, and certainly a very tight labor market. And in that type of a labor market, it makes a lot of sense that workers may not be willing to work as hard as they have in the past because it's very easy to get alternative employment.
Yeah, okay. A lot of people have just left this scheme in general. Like, I mean, working for someone is beneficial until you can figure out a way to make what you love doing be financially beneficial to you, so you can actually throw your whole self into it. But in the meantime, it absolutely is kind of wrecking companies. It is, I'm sure. I don't know the type of jobs that are like being hit with this. I have no idea. But I can imagine that the level of quitting were high during the time of like right after the 19, because think about it. They just realized, specifically if they were non-essential workers, they realized that their livelihood could be taken away from them fast and out of nowhere. So I'm thinking a lot of these people also were just like, listen, I need to find a way where I can make a different type of income and not have to worry about too much going to work, right? That's really the main thing here, I think, guys. I'm still trying to put this all together, but that's kind of what it feels like.
So the question is, what is quiet quitting? Quiet quitting is referring to a situation where employees are making a choice to not necessarily go above and beyond what they're being asked to do. It doesn't mean that they're not doing their job, they're just not going above and beyond.
Back in my day, it was called coasting.
For me,
Coasting.
my last time quiet quitting was 5 years ago. I used to be in tech sales. What I did was work less. I wasn't putting in the 40 hours anymore. I wasn't giving in to the drama anymore. I wasn't giving into work gossip anymore.
Then why weren't you replaced at work? Guys, I don't listen.
I wasn't answering emails or texts or Slack messages, DMs after the work day, so weekends were free. They were mine.
Even though it's millennials and Gen Zers who are actively talking about it on social media, quiet quitting has been happening amongst Gen Xers, which I'm part of the Gen Xers, for the better part of...
Bro, I'm a millennial, and I'm telling you right now, I am not sure I've never done this before, guys.
Of 2 to 3 years.
The anti-work movement is not a new trend. In 2021, the lying flat or Tangping movement took off in China. Many viewed it as an anti-work phenomenon. This is a labor protest movement in China against the country's relentless work culture. Some argue that quiet quitting is similar to the lying flat movement. In the US, quiet quitting could also be a backlash to hustle culture, the 24/7 startup grind popularized by figures like Gary Vee and others.
I think it is almost direct resistance and disruption of hustle culture, honestly. And I think it's exciting that more people are doing it.
When it comes to hustle culture and quiet quitting, we're seeing from Gen Zers especially that they're really focused on ensuring that they have that work-life balance and really mission-driven purpose when it comes to work. And we see this across millennials as well.
People are being more honest about the fact that they just don't want to give beyond the 40 hours of work that they normally would give because they're tired.
Right. Oh, okay, guys. Yeah, they're tired. Obviously, they're tired. If they're overworking in the way that they are, and they're not really receiving anything back for it, but probably a super low 401k, guys. Yeah, I can imagine that they're going to probably consistently do this, guys. Unfortunately, guys, life all isn't. It isn't just about working exclusively. Like, you need to have some fun. You need to have a balance with your family. I get it, guys. I get it. But still, I don't know. Never experienced it. Because again, I've always been like I don't know, maybe I work too hard. Maybe I need to just like relax a little bit. Guys, I do post like 9 videos a day. Let's get it, guys.
There has been a tsunami of job resignations.
In 2021, the Great Resignation dominated the economic news cycle.
Or need to remain in their roles. So,
in the second quarter of the same year, U.S. productivity data posted its biggest ever annual drop. And some economists blame workers leaving jobs or not trying hard at their current jobs for the hit to productivity.
Quiet quitting is probably part of the reason for the slowing in labor productivity. It's hard to tell from aggregate data exactly why labor productivity has slowed so much over the course of the pandemic, but it is certainly one of the reasons that you would expect to be weighing on labor productivity right now.
Employee engagement also appears to be declining. A recent poll from Gallup showed employee engagement in the U.S. dropping for the first annual decline in a decade, dipping from 36% engaged employees in 2020 to 34% in 2021.
Disengagement, not being engaged, that's affecting the productivity. Mentally, they're just not there, and they really aren't giving it their all anymore. And they are just trying to stay under the radar, and they are disengaged. That's very much going to impact productivities.
I do think quiet quitting is a part of the Great Resignation. People are so burnt out. We've just gone through and are still going through a pandemic. We are recognizing that life can be so fleeting and so short, and we want to spend it doing something we love. And that doesn't mean work has to be our dream job. I think that myth of the dream job is slowly or rapidly dying.
Guys, I think we need to kind of push AI probably forward, guys. Like, much faster than it has been, at least, because a lot of these jobs, right, specifically, can be replaced with AI. So we can kind of get the productivity back, and obviously by replacing jobs with AI, we need to work on some type of like universal basic income and things like that, right? Then we can kind of mitigate the fact that we're definitely losing productivity as a nation, right? And we can, AI will just do it faster anyway. Because if you want to quiet quit, you can quiet quit, but things still need to get done, right? So, and if AI can do some of these jobs that people are quiet quitting, maybe AI needs to be expedited, guys. Most likely. That's it. By the sound
People
of it, at
that
least.
shut down their laptop at 5 want that balance in life, want to go to the soccer game, 9 to 5 only. They don't work for me. I can tell you that.
Labor demand.
I'll tell you right now, Kevin O'Leary is someone who's probably not going to be, he's probably like me a little bit, or I'm maybe like him, or we're similar. 5 o'clock is not the end of a workday, bro. I get it. He gets it. He understands it. I understand it. Like for me personally, I'm pretty much working every single day, literally every single day of the week. Maybe 14 to 17 hours every single day on content for 3 channels and soon to be a 4th channel. Guys, just all right. I'm working all day long. I don't think I really have I don't have much downtime, and if I do, then things end up getting pushed back, and I can't stand the concept of pushing content back, guys, right? So I get it, bro. My tagline for this channel has always been work hard until you're recognized, guys. I mean, that's the mantra, bro. I will consistently work as hard as humanly possible, but that's just me, right? Not everyone needs to go down the path of overworking yourself. You get what I'm saying here, guys? You should be able to take some time off and not be penalized for the time that you take off, but obviously as long as you are still maintaining what's needed to to push whatever company you are working for forward. Another thing is that I think stock options in a lot of these companies are really good if you give them stock options, right? Because generally, if they produce more, they make more money in bonuses, bro, right? Just go ahead and point that out. Give stock options, guys, or something where they can benefit, right? But all right, let's get
remains red hot in 2022. That's despite the looming risk of a recession. An economic downturn could make quiet quitting a short-lived trend.
Well, if the labor market were to turn, you'd imagine that quiet quitting would become less of a phenomenon.
Right.
Well, the risk if you're a quiet quitter is that the economy would slow, and you could find yourself in a situation where you're in a job where you haven't been given the most effort that you can, and it puts you at a disadvantage in terms of moving forward.
I would honestly go for the people who have been delivering the least. Like you should for a company. Companies should be somewhat scrupulous in this instance. You need the most productivity coming from everyone that you're paying to work there. And if the people you're paying to work there are not delivering
that job, if others have been giving more effort, they're more likely to have greater job security than otherwise.
Absolutely.
So certainly as the labor market slows, and if we were to go into a recession, could potentially put those workers at a disadvantage.
In addition to talking to thousands of employees per year, I talk to thousands of leaders per year, all the way from your supervisor all the way up to your C-suite CEOs. And I will tell you that they are bothered by this trend because it speaks one of 2 things. One, we have employees who are doing their job, but they're not going above and beyond. 2, what have we done as an organization to these employees to make them feel like they can't give their best effort?
You underpaid them and undervalued their lives for the most part. You probably didn't give them the days off they wanted to take off. You probably gave those days to someone else when they really needed them. Right, you've done probably a lot to affect them, right? Obviously, you're paying them; they're paying their bills, but it's probably not enough to maintain. Like if you're making $100,000 in the United States of America yearly, I am confused how people are struggling. Like you shouldn't be living paycheck to paycheck off of $100,000, but apparently you are. You can now. So they need more money, right? And obviously, when the inflation kind of dies down, they need to be fully able to accept less money, like go back to their salary, right? Maybe like a variable, rate of pay. That sounds cool too.
We're evolving as a culture. We're evolving as a people, and the workplace is evolving, and we need to be okay with it, because it's the same concept for me as people saying just because I didn't have it means you shouldn't have it too. You should have to work hard.
Just want to be careful about just saying that quiet quitting is the Gen Zs and the Gen Ys. I think that it can be happening all over the place. And the more we stay engaged and connected and share our purpose, the less of an issue disengagement will be. And then hopefully the quiet quitting term will start fading to the background, and we'll see both employees being productive and well engaged and employers being very successful.
Start bringing in AI. They'll stop. But all right, listen. It's crazy to think that this is a thing, right? But I understand it from both sides. Again, luckily on my end, the employees that I do have specifically, they are paid percentages on top of their salary. So depending on how well specifically all of these channels do, they make more money, guys, yearly. That's just how that works, right? So on top of an ongoing salary, they also get, right, a percentage. So that's just how that works. I make sure that people are taken care of, and I think that's the issue with a lot of the larger companies, right? Now, when it comes to like the people that are quitting, bro, AI is going to replace you. All right, a lot of the jobs from what we've seen here, at least office jobs, bro, AI is coming for you. AI is coming for a lot of office jobs, bro. Like, I'm telling you. Like, don't let McDonald's start, putting in robots in their kitchen that cooks everything perfectly at the same time. We don't have to worry about mistakes on our food. Listen, robot cashiers. I'm telling you, like a fully automated fast food restaurant. That's going to be a problem, right? Automated baggers. I'm just trying to let you guys know that there's a wave coming, guys. So the whole quiet quitting thing absolutely is going to put you in a position where you're going to be the first one gone. The first one gone, right? So instead of you being moved over to a different department that could potentially work over the AI that's going to be, doing a lot of these things, you basically shot yourself in the foot a little bit right there, guys. You understand what I'm saying? But all right, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day and enjoy your day thoroughly.